on a Tuesday. Joining us right now, fresh off his award-winning show in Houston. And you know what? I want to reverse things here a little bit because I feel, Sean, you got a little bit shortchanged last week with a project you're working on. And I'll tell you, I watched, I want to say, I think it was the Eagles kind of side-by-side Manning cast sort of thing on the Pro Sports Fans app. And it was actually, the camera's kind of on the guy, and then you had the play-by-play of the game digitally below it. I was actually impressed, Sean. How are you doing this morning, by the way?
I'm doing great. Yeah, our new app, which I'm the president of the company, it's PSF, Pro Sports Fans. You can go get it in, Google Play in the App Store. And we've got every single game wall-to-wall with media casts like the Manning cast covered all season long. And we'll have it covered through all of baseball. We have teams everywhere. Same thing, but also shows during the week. And it's a fan engagement app. It's finally a seat for the fan at the table. We're in the process of having peer-to-peer and a gambling button where you can push and go with fantasy leagues as well as, but it's just communities built into Go and fan engagement with great analysis. And it's not like Twitter where you get to come on audio and video. We're not typing and reading. You come on and engage and have a seat at the table. So that's just kind of the basic synopsis. And Dave, every single weekend and day, we're setting new records for our app, and to our investors and sponsors and to our talent. It's giving compelling content, and the graphics and the rest of it's been pretty special. I'm glad to be a part of it, and means a lot to me. It's excited as I've ever been about a project in the 25, 30 years of doing television and radio, because we always talk about the fan, and now we've given them an engagement seat at the table, and you go in and afterwards you want to go in and talk as a community. And college football, we're putting those together for Power 5 and then building it out from there as well. So I think we're on to a game changer and pretty epic start to this new app. So I'm excited. It's PSF, at PSF_app on Twitter.
Wow, great work there, Sean. That's really cool what you're doing there. I think there's a lot of opportunities. Dave and I were just talking about, I guess, the three best teams right now in the NFL, at least record-wise, 3-0. You got the Eagles, the Niners, and the Dolphins. We kind of did our own little rankings, but I'd be curious, as of now, who do you think currently is the best team in the NFL?
Miami, San Francisco, and Philadelphia. Listen, if you told me that I was stuck with Philadelphia, I'm good with it. I don't even think they've played they haven't, excuse me, guys, haven't hit the ground running like they will. I mean, they're 3-0, but they haven't played their best football. The 49ers protecting the football. We know that they are loaded. They were my Super Bowl team in the NFC. I love what they're about. And I love the way they're coached. There's not much to dislike about them. And then you obviously have the Miami Dolphins and the way they score. It looked like like what we do on a practice field where we script cards for the defense. So the offense gets to put the defense on the card during our practice week about the play you want to run. It builds your confidence. So scout team defense, number one offense, they're drawing, okay, it's cover two. So the offensive script practice would have a cover two beater for the confidence-wise, right? That's what Denver looked like to Miami. It was like they were playing practice, that everything they designed was to have success offensively, and Denver didn't show up. So Miami's offense and their play calling, they're doing things completely. I mean, we saw Andy Reid take it to another level. Mike McDaniels doing the same thing. Maybe a lesser talented quarterback physically than Mahomes, but accurate. The ball comes out, great team speed. That's a really friggin' good football team there in Miami. If they stay healthy, they're going to be hell to pay.
Sean Salisbury with us. Sean, you played, you know a lot of these guys, and it's never personal when we talk about this stuff, but I know you'll give me a straight answer. I'm going to make a statement. You agree or disagree. Matt Eberflus and Josh McDaniels have no business right now coaching in the National Football League.
I think that we are now. Listen, Dave, and I know where you're going, and I tend to agree with you 100% when it comes to they seem to be in over their heads with their teams. Now, do they know X's and O's? Of course they do. Both were outstanding coordinators before they got head coaching jobs, but we see that a lot, Dave. And I don't know if now this is Josh's second time. Mm-hmm. Some guys I've seen throughout the course of my career, they belong in the Hall of Fame as assistant coaches. Honest to God, yeah. I've been on staffs with them. Like, damn,
it's Norv Turner, right?
Without question.
Yeah,
I think I can make the argument that Norv Turner not only is an offensive coordinator, a Hall of Fame, belongs in the Hall of Fame as a coordinator. We should. I've said this to you guys before. Have a wing of the Hall of Fame for assistant coaches. We just should.
Yep.
Tom Moore, I mean, I can go through guy after, that have been like, well, Dick LeBeau, who's in, but I'm talking about if it was just as an assistant coach, right? Mm-hmm. We need place for that. The guys
Vic Fangio.
To have that opportunity, right? Vic Fangio, no question about it. So with that, you're talking about these guys were great at that, but right now it's different X's and O's. I don't need an X's and O's head coach once I get to be the head coach. I need that X's and O head coach to hire guys that are like him, that know X's and O's, knows what he's trying to teach. But then you become a guy who, yes, you want to be hands-on. You empower you guys to coach, but now you're in more of a, when do I go for it on third one? Look at the struggle Staley has every friggin' weekend with the Chargers. He's a smart guy, but when it comes to game time decisions, and like Josh McDaniels, when you're down there, you got to go for it. The things like that, I'm thinking, when you woke up this morning, your whole football career, what are you thinking? As a coordinator, would you have done the same thing? There's something that goes on, just like some assistant coaches that are position coaches can't get into a play calling rhythm. That's not for them. So they're assistant position coaches or position coaches their whole career. And that every head coach that gets great as a coordinator is not head coach worthy. They're just not. But their resume says, well, they've earned the time. Well, Josh McDaniels is proving week in and week out that he doesn't quite get the head coaching gig. Okay. And Matt Eberflus, I'm telling you what, Chicago's a bad football team, and their play calling or the way they're handling it and the players, they're getting worse. We're not seeing improvement like we are with some other teams. So yeah, Dave, to me, it's a short leash, and I'll be shocked if both of them make it through the season if this keeps up. But at the end of the season, I don't know how. I don't wish it on anybody. Some guys just aren't cut out for it. Maybe Eberflus's next time it will be. But for Josh McDaniels, how many more times do we have to say you've got to make better decisions? And while players do have to make the plays, coach's job is to put you in the best position to succeed. I don't think either one are doing that in their cities.
And Sean, from your playing days, I'm thinking from the player perspective, I don't think I think you have a much better chance of gaining the confidence, the belief of your players if you're more aggressive and you say, my offense can get this fourth down. My offense can get this 2-point conversion. My offense can, and I also trust my defense if we don't. I feel like there's so many more wins in coaching aggressively as long as it's not reckless.
And you know what? Even if there's not wins, there's respect and trust gained in losses.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I've seen it where, listen, last year, guys, Lovie Smith, we know what Lovie's about. He's been great for the coaching profession. The opening game against the Colts last year had a chance to go for it, played to tie, and admitted it, played for the tie. And I said on my show the next day, I said, that may end up setting the tone for the whole season. Well, 3 months later, now I'm not sure that's the reason, but I right then and there said not only, and it permeates not just to the team on offense for not going for it. You know what else you're saying? I don't trust my defense.
Yeah.
I don't trust them to get a stop 3 and out. To me, if I'm going down, at least put if I'm going to sink, put a paddle in my hand so at least I got a chance. You're basically taking everything away from your team. It's the over micro stuff. And I know this for a fact. If you go on the sidelines, rarely heard in a situation like that when we call a timeout where we're going over there and a coach brings over and says, what do you guys think? I don't know if I've ever heard a guy say, let's kick it. Okay, let's kick it. Every guy on the planet, because we all think everybody's open and everybody wants to go for it. Why? Because it shows the sense of you believe in us. We went through training camp. And even if we don't, it's going to set the tone that we're not letting anybody off the hook that plays against us. When you do that, it's almost my team. And regardless of the fan base or media's trust, the number one thing you have to do is get buy-in from your players. And guys, as we know, coaches can BS a lot of people. You know where they can't win the BS game? In their own locker room. You just can't. And the players will eventually get you. Just like Joe Namath said about the Jets. You keep playing Zach Wilson. He keeps struggling. And then you're going to start, this defense is going to start saying, wait a minute, now we're a Super Bowl caliber defense. How are you going to keep running this out there? So they know. And so, yes, you're exactly right. If I'm going down, at least let me smart aggressiveness. It's 3rd and 47. I get it. Don't hand it off. I mean, I understand. But when you got a chance, I always say err on the side of what do your team wants to do, because they'll always respect you more. And respect is far more important to me than liking a teammate or liking a coach. Respect. When you lose that, it's easy to lose and hard to get back.
Last thing for you, Sean, this actually just came across my desk while we were talking, so we can get your reaction to this live on the air. I was not aware of this. Sean, did you know that Taylor Swift was at the Chiefs game?
I had zero idea. I mean, I watched the whole game, and I saw Kelsey's mom. I think they went to the suite like one time on accident. I only saw it once. But there was some blonde in there that I had no idea who she was. Looked familiar, and I thought, that's got to be somebody's, somebody, maybe the owner's daughter, or
something.
The coach's daughter's friend's sister's cousin. And lo and behold, I find out. I wake up Monday morning, and say, "Man, what's all the Taylor Swift talk?" She was actually at the Chiefs game. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have known? Right? But hey. I guess, and you know what?
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' wife's probably pissed. She's all over the show. Taylor Swift's the show now. So, hey, good for them. Hey, one thing you ain't going to win the game unless you take the jump shot. Good
That's right.
Travis Kelce. And you know what? You know, people say, oh, they just want your money. She's looking saying, I don't need that cat's money. That's tip money on a Friday night compared to what I'm making. So good for them. But yeah, I'm hearing through the grapevine, it's subtle rumor that she was at the Kansas City Chiefs game in a suite on Sunday.
Listen, and I'm talking. Look, and I'll let you go with this. I know I'm talking to Mr. President now, the president of the Pro Sports Fans app. Listen, I want to tell you how to run your business, but next time she's at a Kansas City Chiefs game or any game, you ought to put one of your folks on a Taylor Swift play-by-play cam, and it's probably going to get more hits than anything else on there. That's how crazy these folks are.
It'll go viral. Hey, your suggestion will be well-versed and well-taken. You got it. And can you imagine, though, if I was the president of GoDaddy? You'd have to call me. Daddy's president. There you go. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, there you go. PSF, and we will have somebody on the Taylor Swift cam on a regular basis. Voicing it over. Thanks, fellas. I always appreciate coming on with you.
All right, thanks, Sean. Be good. That's Sean Salisbury. We'll take a break. When we come back, 2 down territory.
How about 2 more than that?
You want to double it?
Yeah, let's go super
size. Go 4 down